Alex had never expected his life to take a turn like this. Moving to a new colony on the distant planet of Urindor was supposed to be simple. He had accepted a job in the city's central research facility and rented a small room in a shared apartment to save money. The ad had seemed normal enough. Room available in clean, quiet apartment. Affordable rent. Shared kitchen and living space. Nothing about the listing suggested the extraordinary roommates who waited inside. The apartment building looked ordinary from the outside, a tall gray structure with narrow windows and a worn-out sign that read Haven Heights. The elevator groaned as he ascended to the third floor, where the unit was located. With his bag slung over his shoulder, Alex approached the door and took a deep breath. He was tired from the long journey across Urindor's sprawling cityscape, but excitement and nervous energy kept him alert. The door opened before he could knock. Two young women stood there, smiling politely. They looked human at first glance, but something about them was unusual. One had a pale, almost luminous skin tone with soft green eyes that seemed to look right through him. The other had a warm golden skin tone, her hair flowing like liquid silver, and her eyes shimmered with faint flecks of blue. Their movements were graceful in a way he had never seen before, smooth and precise. "Hello, you must be Alex," the pale-skinned one said, her voice calm and melodic. "I'm Lyra, and this is Saphira." The apartment was cozy and unusual at the same time. The living room contained a mix of human and alien decor. Sleek, unfamiliar devices hummed quietly on shelves, plants glowed faintly in soft blues and greens, and intricate sculptures seemed to shift subtly when he looked away. He placed his bag on the floor and looked around, trying to act natural despite the growing sense of unease. Lyra gestured toward the hallway. "Your room is the one at the end. Please make yourself at home." He realized quickly that they were not speaking English or any human tongue. He felt a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Dinner time arrived, and Lyra and Saphira invited him to eat with them. The food looked ordinary at first, but when Alex tasted it, he realized the flavors were subtly different, exotic, yet comforting. They spoke gently, telling him stories of their travels, hinting at life on planets far beyond Urindor, yet they carefully avoided specifics. "You must find this city challenging," Lyra said. Her green eyes studied him with quiet curiosity. "It's different," Alex admitted, "but exciting too. How one adapts says more than what one achieves." He tried to settle in, but he couldn't shake the feeling that his life had suddenly become far more complicated than he had planned. Through the thin walls, he could hear the two women moving about, speaking softly in their alien language. Every so often, he thought he felt a subtle vibration in the air, as if the room itself was aware of his presence. He shook his head, trying to dismiss the thought. Perhaps it was just his imagination. Curiosity, however, got the better of him. Quietly, he left his room and wandered toward the living area. He froze at the sight of Lyra hovering her hand over a small device that emitted a soft hum. Tiny sparks of blue energy danced across its surface, yet it did no harm. Alex's eyes widened. Saphira noticed him immediately. "Alex, you shouldn't," she began, but Lyra held up a hand. "It's all right," Lyra said. "He will need to see this eventually." This was no ordinary living arrangement. He was sharing an apartment with beings far more advanced than himself. His human mind struggled to process it all, yet a spark of excitement ignited inside him. He had always dreamed of adventure, of discovering something beyond the ordinary. Now, it seemed, he had found it. Over the next few days, Alex tried to adapt to life with his unusual roommates. Lyra and Saphira were polite, respectful, and patient with his questions. They taught him a few basic phrases in their language and allowed him to observe their technology. At first, he felt out of place, but slowly he began to notice that they respected him not only for being human, but for his curiosity and willingness to learn. One afternoon, Alex attempted to fix a minor malfunction in one of their devices. It was a simple human tool that needed a mechanical adjustment, but it confused even the advanced alien systems. With careful observation and trial, he corrected the error. Lyra and Sapphira watched silently, then shared a rare smile of approval. "You humans have a unique creativity," Lyra said. "You approach problems differently. It is admirable." Occasionally, Alex glimpsed unfamiliar figures watching the apartment from a distance. The two women remained calm but vigilant, as if they had dealt with such threats before. One night, as Alex was about to fall asleep, he noticed a small glow under his door. Curious, he opened it to find a delicate device resting there. He picked it up, feeling the gentle hum of energy within it. A small holographic message appeared, addressed to him. "Alex," Lyra's voice said softly, "we need your help. Can humans rise to the challenge?" For the first time in his life, he felt that he had stepped beyond ordinary existence. His life, as simple as he had imagined it, was gone. The next morning, he approached Lyra and Sapphira with questions. They answered carefully, explaining that their presence on Urindor was part of a larger mission, one that required caution and intelligence. They hinted at threats from other factions, beings who would stop at nothing to capture them. Alex listened intently, absorbing every detail. Though he was just one human, they trusted him enough to involve him in their world. He felt a sense of responsibility, knowing that his actions could influence the outcomes of events far larger than himself. In the days that followed, Alex's role became clearer. He helped observe, gather information, and use human ingenuity in situations that required creative thinking. Lyra and Sapphira continued to guide him, but they respected his ideas and valued his perspective. One evening, as they sat together on the balcony overlooking Urindor's bustling city lights, Alex realized how far he had come. He no longer felt like a stranger in their world. Instead, he felt like a participant in something extraordinary, something that could shape not just his life but the fate of many. Lyra turned to him, her green eyes reflecting the city lights. "Alex, do you understand what it means to be trusted? And I want to prove I am worthy of that trust." He knew that in this apartment with these two extraordinary roommates, his life had only just begun. Adventure, danger, and discovery awaited him. He was ready to rise to the challenge, to prove that even an ordinary human could make a difference in a universe filled with extraordinary beings. And for the first time, Alex felt that being human was not a limitation. It was a strength all its own. The days passed quickly in the apartment, but Alex felt no sense of boredom. Life with Lyra and Sapphira was a constant mixture of fascination and challenge. Every moment brought something new, an unfamiliar device, a strange plant that seemed to respond to thought, or subtle lessons in alien knowledge that stretched his mind. Alex had started to feel at home, yet a quiet sense of tension lingered, as if the city itself was holding its breath. One afternoon, Alex sat at the kitchen table, trying to fix a minor issue with one of Sapphira's small energy devices. It was blinking erratically, displaying patterns he did not understand. Lyra stood nearby, watching him with quiet curiosity, while Sapphira floated in her usual graceful manner, her eyes focused on the device. "You don't have to fix it," Sapphira said gently. "It was merely a demonstration." "Your confidence is unusual for humans," she said. "Most of your kind would have given up long before this point." "You humans have a cleverness we did not fully appreciate," she said. "Simple logic, persistence, and intuition combine in ways even advanced technology cannot predict." Their eyes held a mix of respect and something deeper, a sense of acknowledgement that he had earned a place in their lives. Over the next few days, the roommates settled into a rhythm. They ate together, shared stories, and practiced simple exercises that improved focus and awareness. Alex learned to observe energy patterns in objects, sense slight fluctuations in the environment, and anticipate certain outcomes before they happened. He was not yet capable of the advanced skills Lyra and Sapphira possessed, but he was improving. One evening, as the three of them sat on the balcony, Alex noticed a pair of figures moving silently across the rooftops opposite their building. The humans were careful not to be seen, but their presence was deliberate and threatening. Alex pointed toward them. "Do you see them?" he asked. Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Yes, they are scouts. They have been tracking us for some time." He had expected an unusual life with his alien roommates, but he had not anticipated danger so soon. "What do you need me to do?" he asked. Lyra exchanged a glance with Sapphira. "Observe, learn, and act when the moment comes. Humans possess an adaptability that even we cannot match." For the first time, he truly understood what it meant to be trusted. The next morning, he ventured into the city with the two women. They moved through crowded streets with grace, unnoticed despite their unusual appearance. Lyra and Sapphira spoke softly in their alien language, exchanging information that Alex could not understand, yet he felt the meaning in the tone, the rhythm, and the gestures. They reached a small plaza where holographic advertisements flickered in the morning light. Humans and aliens mingled without tension, but Alex could sense the difference in treatment between the species. Humans were underestimated, dismissed as simple or limited, while beings like Lyra and Sapphira commanded subtle attention wherever they went. "Remember," Lyra whispered, "your strength lies in creativity and unpredictability. Use it wisely." Later that afternoon, Alex noticed a commotion in an alley near their apartment. Two unfamiliar figures, tall and imposing, were investigating the area. They moved with purpose, clearly searching for something or someone. Alex's heart raced as he realized that the scouts were getting closer. Returning to the apartment, he relayed the information to Lyra and Sapphira. They listened carefully, their expressions calm but intense. "They are closer than we thought," Sapphira said. "We will need to act before they reach the building." He was stepping into a world far beyond ordinary human experience, yet he was ready to face it. Over the next several days, Alex helped prepare the apartment and surrounding area for potential threats. Using his human ingenuity, he devised simple but effective traps, reinforced weak points in the building, and developed strategies that would slow down intruders without causing harm. Lyra and Sapphira guided him, but they allowed him freedom to apply his ideas. One evening, as they reviewed their plans, a small device on the table blinked with a soft, steady light. Alex picked it up, curious. A holographic map appeared, showing points across the city where the scouts had been detected. "They are spreading out," Lyra said. "They will attempt to divide and conquer. We must be ready." Alex's traps worked perfectly, slowing movement in targeted areas and providing early warning of any approach. Lyra and Sapphira moved through the apartment with fluid precision, demonstrating advanced coordination, but it was Alex's quick thinking that made the difference in the simulations. "You are improving faster than expected," Lyra said. "It is rare for humans to adapt so quickly." Lyra and Sapphira began to teach him basic techniques to sense energy flows and anticipate actions, but always reminded him that his human creativity was his greatest strength. One afternoon, while gathering supplies in the city, Alex noticed a strange pattern in the way shadows moved near an abandoned warehouse. Following his instincts, he discovered a hidden device monitoring nearby streets. He carefully deactivated it and reported the discovery to Lyra and Sapphira. "You see what we mean," Sapphira said softly. "Humans think differently. Your perspective reveals what others overlook." "Humans are capable of more than you realize," she said. "Do not doubt yourself. Your courage and intelligence are your greatest assets." Life had changed in ways he could never have predicted. Danger, mystery, and the unknown had become part of his daily existence. Yet he felt ready. Humans were underestimated across the galaxy, but he now understood that they possessed unique strengths: adaptability, creativity, and courage. A soft hum from the device Lyra and Sapphira had left him filled the room. He knew it was more than a message. It was a call to action, a reminder that his role was just beginning. He drifted to sleep with a sense of purpose, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The city outside buzzed with life, unaware of the small group of beings preparing to meet a threat no one else could see. Alex had discovered that being human was not a weakness, it was a strength. And with Lyra and Sapphira by his side, he was ready to rise to every challenge, to prove that even an ordinary human could make an extraordinary difference. The sun rose over the city, casting long shadows across Erendor's streets. Alex was already awake, alert, and reviewing the plans he had made with Lyra and Sapphira the night before. The scouts had been persistent, testing the apartment and nearby streets, but so far, the traps and early warnings had kept them at bay. Today, however, felt different. There was a tension in the air, a quiet urgency that made every sound seem sharper and every shadow deeper. Lyra entered the room quietly, her green eyes assessing him. "They are preparing for something," she said softly. "A larger effort, more focused. We must anticipate their next move." While Lyra and Sapphira had advanced technology and abilities, he brought unpredictability, creativity, and courage that even they could not replicate. The three of them spent the morning checking their defenses. Alex tested every trap, calculated the range of early warning devices, and ensured escape routes were clear. Lyra and Sapphira adjusted their energy fields, making sure that the apartment could withstand attempts at forced entry. By midday, Alex had a sense of anticipation so strong it was almost tangible. The scouts would not wait long, and the next encounter would demand more than simple observation. It happened in the late afternoon. A sudden disturbance in the street below caught Alex's attention. Figures moved quickly, shadows darting from building to building. The scouts were coming together, coordinating in a way that suggested a larger plan. Alex signaled to Lyra and Sapphira, and they moved silently, preparing to implement their defense strategy. When the scouts reached the vicinity of the apartment, Alex's traps were already in place. They activated with precision, slowing the movement of the intruders and triggering alarms that sent subtle energy pulses throughout the area. Lyra and Sapphira responded immediately, creating protective fields that masked their positions while allowing Alex to maneuver freely. Alex realized quickly that he would need to act on instinct. Following his own calculations and intuition, he moved through the building, setting additional barriers and creating confusing patterns that would disorient the scouts. His human ingenuity came into play in ways he had not anticipated, using simple tools and natural tactics to create advantages in a situation that advanced technology alone could not handle. One of the scouts attempted to bypass a trap by scaling the side of the building. Alex spotted it instantly and triggered a countermeasure that caused a harmless but distracting energy flare, making the scout lose balance. Lyra and Sapphira watched, their expressions reflecting both pride and surprise. Humans, they realized, could act with unpredictability that even they had difficulty anticipating. The engagement escalated quickly. Scouts attempted multiple approaches, testing their strength against the trio. Alex guided them through the apartment, using his knowledge of human problem-solving to predict their movements and create opportunities for the women to neutralize threats safely. It was a delicate balance. Every move required precision, timing, and trust. Through it all, Alex learned more about his roommates. Lyra and Sapphira communicated through a combination of language, gestures, and energy signals that he began to understand instinctively. They coordinated their actions flawlessly, but it was his ability to think differently, to see patterns that the scouts could not predict, that gave them the edge. Hours passed in a blur of strategy, movement, and tension. By nightfall, the scouts had been forced to retreat. Their attempts were unsuccessful, and the trio had managed to protect the apartment and the surrounding area without causing harm to any bystanders. Lyra turned to Alex, her green eyes reflecting admiration. "You were exceptional today. Your perspective, your decisions, they made the difference. Humans are underestimated across many worlds, but your courage and creativity have proven invaluable." No one expected humans to act as they did, and that unpredictability became their greatest strength. Over the next several days, life settled into a cautious routine. The scouts remained in the city, but their movements were measured, and Alex, Lyra, and Sapphira were always prepared. Alex continued to learn, practicing techniques to sense energy fluctuations and anticipate movements, all while contributing his human ingenuity to the planning and defense efforts. During one quiet evening, Alex noticed a subtle shift in the city's energy, a signal that someone or something was observing them from a distance. He shared his observation with Lyra and Sapphira, and they nodded knowingly. "They are learning," Lyra said. "They are adapting to our strategies. We must adapt as well." He realized that humans, often underestimated, had the ability to innovate in ways that more advanced beings might overlook. Together, they began to plan a more proactive approach. Alex suggested tactics that combined human resourcefulness with the alien technology of his roommates. They would create decoys, manipulate energy fields to mislead observers, and use the city itself as a tool in their strategy. Lyra and Sapphira approved, impressed by his understanding of both human limitations and potential. One night, as they sat on the balcony overlooking the glowing city, Lyra spoke softly. "Alex, do you realize what you are part of? We're protecting this city, and maybe more than that, we're showing that humans can handle things no one expects us to." He was no longer just a human living in an alien apartment. He was an active participant in a struggle that could affect many lives. The danger was real, but so was the opportunity to make a difference. Days turned into nights, and Alex grew more confident in his role. He learned to predict the scouts' patterns, create effective strategies, and act with courage even when outcomes were uncertain. Lyra and Sapphira continued to teach him, but they relied on his human perspective more and more. One afternoon, a new threat emerged. A larger group of scouts entered the city, moving quickly and efficiently. Alex recognized the signs immediately. He alerted Lyra and Sapphira, and they began implementing their advanced defenses. This time, however, Alex's human creativity became the turning point. He devised a series of traps and diversions that used the city environment itself, streets, rooftops, and alleys, to confuse and slow the intruders. His plan required split-second timing and precise coordination with Lyra and Sapphira, but it worked perfectly. The scouts were forced to retreat once more, their efforts thwarted by a combination of human ingenuity and alien technology. Lyra and Sapphira approached Alex, their expressions filled with admiration and trust. "You are proving yourself in ways few humans could," Lyra said. "Your courage, intelligence, and adaptability are remarkable. You have shown us that even the most advanced beings can learn from those they consider simple." Being human was not a weakness, it was a strength, one that he could use to make a difference. As the night fell, Alex reflected on everything that had happened. He thought of the scouts, the city, and the challenges that lay ahead. He knew that this was only the beginning. Greater dangers and mysteries awaited, and his role was becoming more important with each passing day. But he was ready. With Lyra and Sapphira by his side, he understood that courage, creativity, and determination were more powerful than any technology or ability. Humans had a place in this universe, a role that could shape events in ways that no one expected. Alex lay in his room that night, staring at the ceiling. He felt a sense of purpose and excitement. He was part of something extraordinary, a struggle that required his unique abilities, his human ingenuity, and his courage. And for the first time in his life, he felt truly capable of rising to any challenge. The hum of the devices in the apartment reminded him of the stakes, but also of the trust that Lyra and Sapphira had placed in him. He was no longer just a human among aliens. He was a valued ally, a problem solver, and a vital part of their team. Tomorrow, he knew, would bring new challenges. Scouts would return, threats would escalate, and the city itself could become a battleground. But Alex was ready. Humans, he realized, were not weak, and his own courage and ingenuity could tip the scales in ways no one anticipated. And so, with determination in his heart, Alex drifted into sleep, knowing that his life had changed forever. The ordinary human he had once been was gone. In its place stood someone ready to face the unknown, to protect his roommates, and to prove that humans, even in a universe filled with extraordinary beings, could rise to the occasion and shine. The morning sun spread pale light over the city of Urindor, but Alex felt no warmth. Something had changed overnight. The scouts who had tested their defenses were no longer acting independently. They moved as part of a coordinated effort, precise and relentless. The scale of the threat was growing, and Alex realized that the danger was no longer limited to the apartment. It extended to the entire colony. Lyra stood at the balcony, her green eyes scanning the streets below. Saphira hovered beside her, arms crossed, her silver hair catching the light like flowing water. Both looked calm, but Alex could sense the tension beneath the surface. "They have reinforcements," Lyra said quietly. "We underestimated them before. This is no longer a simple attempt to test us. They are planning something larger. We must act quickly." He had learned quickly, adapted to the unexpected, and proven that humans could contribute in ways that even advanced aliens could not predict. Over the next several hours, the three of them worked tirelessly to prepare. Alex helped organize defensive positions throughout the city, coordinating with the local authorities who had no idea about the advanced threats lurking nearby. He set up early warning systems using simple human logic combined with alien energy sensors, creating redundancies that even the scouts could not anticipate. Lyra and Saphira focused on energy manipulation and protective fields. They moved with a speed and precision that Alex could only admire, but he noticed something remarkable. They relied on his human creativity more than ever. While they had advanced tools and techniques, Alex's ideas added a layer of unpredictability that made their defenses stronger than either humans or aliens alone could achieve. By late afternoon, the first signs of the larger threat appeared. Alien vessels descended near the outskirts of the city, sleek and silent, their presence almost ghostly against the bright sky. Scouts moved in organized groups, scanning streets, rooftops, and alleys for signs of Lyra and Saphira. Their movements were calculated, yet Alex quickly spotted patterns that suggested potential weaknesses. "Alex, we need your insight," Lyra said, her tone calm but urgent. "Where should we focus our defenses? If we block these paths and create diversions here and here, we can slow them down and force them into predictable zones where we can control the outcome." Alex's traps worked flawlessly, creating confusion and slowing the movement of the intruders. Lyra and Saphira moved with grace and efficiency, neutralizing threats without unnecessary force. Alex directed human responders, showing them patterns and strategies they would not have thought of on their own. Despite the chaos, Alex felt a thrill. This was what he had been preparing for. Humans, he realized, were underestimated not because of weakness, but because others failed to recognize their creativity, adaptability, and courage. He was living proof of that truth. The battle continued for hours. Scouts attempted to bypass defenses, using both brute force and advanced technology. Alex responded with human ingenuity, creating unexpected obstacles, redirecting movements, and finding solutions that even Lyra and Saphira had not anticipated. At one point, a group of scouts managed to break through a secondary barrier. Alex quickly assessed the situation and set a countermeasure using simple tools and energy pulses. The scouts were forced to retreat, confused and disoriented. Lyra and Saphira looked at him with expressions of respect and admiration. "You are extraordinary," Lyra said quietly. "Your actions have prevented significant damage. Humans are truly capable of more than we imagined." As night fell, the city seemed eerily quiet. Alex, Lyra, and Saphira returned to the apartment, surveying the streets below. The immediate threat had been contained, but the larger conflict was far from over. Alien reinforcements had been driven back, but their presence loomed like a shadow over the colony. "We have bought some time," Sapphira said, her voice calm but firm. "But this is only the beginning. They will return stronger and more determined. You have proven yourself today, and the colony owes you more than you realize." He learned to combine instinct with observation, intuition with planning, and creativity with precision. During one quiet evening, as the city lights flickered across the skyline, Lyra spoke softly. "Alex, do you understand what you have accomplished? You have shown humans are not weak. You have demonstrated courage, intelligence, and resilience that even we could not fully predict. You see patterns, find solutions, and act with a courage that cannot be measured by technology alone." Alex quickly adapted their defenses, combining human ingenuity with alien technology to create traps, barriers, and decoys that would mislead the attackers. As the battle unfolded, Alex realized something remarkable. Humans, often underestimated, could adapt quickly, improvise, and use creativity to turn situations in their favor. Lyra and Sapphira had advanced abilities, but it was Alex's unpredictability that gave them the edge. Together, they were a combination stronger than either humans or aliens alone could achieve. Hours passed in a blur of movement, strategy, and energy. Scouts attempted to break through multiple times, but each attempt was countered by Alex's human insight and the roommates' advanced technology. The city remained safe, though the threat persisted, looming like a dark cloud on the horizon. When the battle finally ended for the night, Alex felt exhaustion mixed with exhilaration. He had faced a level of danger he had never imagined and had contributed in ways that changed the outcome. Lyra and Sapphira approached him, their expressions reflecting pride and trust. "You have proven yourself beyond expectations," Lyra said. "Your human creativity, courage, and determination have saved countless lives." He had discovered something profound. Being human was not a limitation. It was a strength. Creativity, adaptability, courage, and the ability to see possibilities others could not. These were qualities that made humans capable of extraordinary things. As he lay in his room that night, Alex reflected on the past days. The scouts, the battles, the strategies, the victories and near misses, all of it had taught him something essential. Humans had a role in this universe, a place where their ingenuity and courage could make a real difference. He was part of something larger than himself, a struggle that required human qualities as much as alien technology. He thought of Lyra and Sapphira, their trust in him, and the bond they had developed. Together, they had defended the city and demonstrated the value of humans in a universe filled with extraordinary beings. Alex realized that courage was not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. And creativity was not just a skill, it was a weapon, a tool, and a bridge between species. The hum of devices and the faint glow of energy fields in the apartment reminded him of the work yet to be done. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, greater threats, and perhaps even larger battles. But Alex was ready. Humans had proven themselves before, and he was ready to prove it again. The city slept, unaware of the quiet war that had unfolded in its streets. But Alex knew that humans, even ordinary ones like him, had the ability to change outcomes, defy expectations, and rise to challenges no one anticipated. And with Lyra and Sapphira by his side, he was ready to face whatever came next, knowing that human ingenuity, courage, and determination could shape the future in ways even the most advanced beings could not foresee. For the first time, Alex felt truly capable, truly valued, and truly alive. The larger battle for the city and perhaps for more was only beginning, and he would be ready. The city of Urindor was quiet that morning, but the calm was deceptive. Alex stood at the balcony, his eyes scanning the streets below. The scouts and their alien reinforcements had withdrawn temporarily, but the threat was far from over. He felt a mixture of anticipation and determination. After weeks of preparation, observation, and defense, the moment had come to face the greater challenge directly. Lyra and Sapphira joined him, their expressions calm yet focused. "Today, Alex," Lyra said softly, "we do not simply defend. We act. We stop this threat before it grows beyond control." The three of them moved through the apartment swiftly, gathering devices, maps, and tools. Alex's traps and strategies had been integrated with Lyra and Saphira's energy fields, creating a combined defense that was both clever and formidable. They communicated in their usual combination of words, gestures, and energy signals, and Alex had learned to anticipate their thoughts almost instinctively. By midday, they were ready. The scouts and their reinforcements began to approach, moving with purpose and coordination. Alex observed patterns and directed both human and alien resources to optimal positions. He felt a surge of confidence. Humans, underestimated by many across the galaxy, had qualities that could tip the scales in their favor. Creativity, adaptability, courage, these were weapons in their own right. The first wave of attackers entered the streets near the apartment complex. Alex's traps were already in place, slowing and redirecting their movements. Lyra and Saphira deployed energy fields to shield civilians and disrupt the scouts' communications. Alex guided human responders, directing them to assist and protect the population without putting anyone at unnecessary risk. The battle escalated quickly. Drones, advanced reconnaissance units, and scouts attempted to bypass their defenses, but Alex's human ingenuity and unconventional thinking created confusion among the attackers. He set decoys, manipulated environmental elements, and found unconventional ways to control the battlefield. Lyra and Saphira acted with precision, neutralizing threats efficiently, while Alex's interventions created opportunities that even their advanced skills could not anticipate. Hours passed in intense engagement. The city was alive with energy, light, and movement. Yet amidst the chaos, Alex noticed something extraordinary. Humans working with alien guidance were not just defending, they were innovating. The combination of human unpredictability and alien technology created a synergy that no enemy could easily counter. At one point, a group of scouts attempted a direct assault on the apartment. Alex noticed a weakness in their formation. He quickly redirected their movement using a combination of traps and decoys, forcing the scouts into zones controlled by Lyra and Saphira's energy fields. The attack was neutralized without harm to civilians, and Alex felt a sense of exhilaration. His human creativity had made the difference once again. The battle continued into the evening. Reinforcements arrived for both sides, but Alex remained calm and focused. He observed patterns, predicted movements, and applied solutions with speed and accuracy. Lyra and Saphira acknowledged his contribution silently, but their expressions of respect spoke volumes. Finally, the scouts' forces began to falter. They were unable to overcome the combined human-alien defenses and creativity. Alex realized that the tide of the battle had turned. Their enemies were retreating, disorganized, and demoralized. When the final wave had withdrawn, Alex, Lyra, and Saphira stood together on the balcony, surveying the city below. The streets were quiet, the citizens safe, and the immediate threat neutralized. "You have done remarkably, Alex," Lyra said, her green eyes reflecting pride. "Your human ingenuity, courage, and adaptability have saved countless lives and proven the value of humans in this universe." He had faced dangers he had never imagined, contributed to the safety of the colony, and proven that humans had strengths even advanced aliens could not predict. Courage, creativity, and adaptability were not just words. They were his tools, his weapons, and his greatest assets. Over the next several days, the trio worked to restore the city and ensure that any remaining threats were neutralized. Alex helped coordinate human and alien resources, integrating their skills in ways that strengthened the colony's defenses permanently. He taught humans to observe patterns, anticipate threats, and act with courage, bridging the gap between species. During one quiet evening, Alex reflected on the past weeks. He had arrived as an ordinary human, moving to a new city for work. Now he was a vital part of a struggle that had tested his courage, intellect, and determination. He had discovered that being human was not a limitation, it was a strength. Humans could think differently, act unpredictably, and innovate in ways others could not. Lyra approached him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Alex, do you understand what you have accomplished? You have not only defended a city, you have changed perceptions. Humans are no longer underestimated here. You have shown that even ordinary beings can rise to extraordinary challenges. Humans are capable of more than you realize. Your actions today will be remembered across worlds. You have proven that collaboration, ingenuity, and bravery can overcome even the most advanced threats." Alex found that his role had expanded beyond simple defense. He was now a teacher, a strategist, and a bridge between humans and aliens. His human perspective was valued, respected, and essential. One evening, as they stood together on the balcony watching the stars appear over Urindor, Alex realized how far he had come. He was no longer just a human in an alien world. He was an integral part of a team capable of shaping events on a galactic scale. Lyra spoke softly, her green eyes reflecting the starlight. "Alex, you have shown that humans have qualities that even advanced civilizations sometimes overlook. Creativity, courage, and determination are strengths that can change outcomes in ways others cannot predict. They could be courageous, inventive, and resilient. They could rise to challenges that others might think impossible." He was living proof of that truth. As the stars glittered above, Alex made a silent promise to himself. He would continue to grow, to learn, and to prove that humans could make a difference not just on Urindor, but across the galaxy. With Lyra and Saphira by his side, he was ready to face any challenge, to protect those he cared about, and to show the universe what humans were capable of. The city slept peacefully below, unaware of the trials that had taken place. Alex knew that danger would return, that challenges lay ahead, but he also knew that humans had the strength, courage, and ingenuity to meet them. He had risen to the challenge, and in doing so had become something more than he had ever imagined. In the weeks that followed, Alex continued to assist Lyra and Saphira in preparing the colony for future threats. Humans were beginning to be recognized as valuable allies, their creativity and adaptability celebrated rather than underestimated. Alex felt a sense of pride and purpose he had never known before, and yet he also knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown civilizations, dangers, and opportunities. Humans, he realized, had a role to play, a unique place in a universe that often underestimated them. With courage in his heart, creativity in his mind, and the trust of his extraordinary roommates, Alex felt ready to face whatever the universe would throw at him. He had proven that humans could rise to the challenge, and he would continue to do so, one decision, one action, one moment at a time. As the night deepened over Urindor, Alex, Lyra, and Saphira stood together, looking at the stars. Their bond was strong, their mission clear, and their determination unshakable. The city was safe, the scouts were defeated for now, and humanity had proven its worth in a universe that had long underestimated it. Alex smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment and hope. Humans had shown they could be clever, brave, and adaptable. And he knew that, with courage and determination, there was nothing they could not achieve. For the first time, Alex truly understood what it meant to be human, and he knew that being human was a strength, one that could change the fate of worlds. The galaxy awaited, and Alex was ready.